Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rhonda Clark.
I'm Jennifer Vakash. We're here with Zainab Naseer. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, so as you already said, my name is Zainab Naseer. I just graduated from medical school in June of 2021, and I am the first doctor in the family, and I'm very proud and happy to have made it this far.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what are two things that you learned during your time with us here at Chicago Telerad?
So the two things that I learned from my time with this rotation was having patience and the importance of communication. And the reason I say that is, as you already know, this is a remote rotation for students. It was very important to have the patients that Miss Rhonda had or Dr. Sammy and Dr. Linda have to like coordinate all of us into a schedule. I know I had to go back and forth with Miss Rhonda a few times to accommodate everyone because of it not being like a setup where you have to go in and just, be there physically, but it was more of like working from home. So staying on top of everything was very important, and to see how people like her and the physician was able to accommodate everyone, and also to like stay on top of teaching, but also like trying to listen to our personal lives and giving us advice and guidance in regards to that. That was very refreshing. And I say communication because that patients also build up from communication, having that door open, that the way they did for students to be able to go to them when we had any problem. And also when it comes to the health side of it, to see how the physicians were able to communicate their diagnosis and images with where it was needed and when it was need to be done in timely manner was something that I really learned from and would love to apply moving forward as a physician.
That's great. Thank you for all of that. So then you pretty much touched on my next question then. And my next question is just, how was your experience working with Dr. Sami, Dr. Linder, and the whole team at Chicago Telerad? So you kind of touched on that already.
Yes, to add on, it was a great experience overall. We all know that images is always like pushed under the rug going through medical school. It's not shown that much importance to, but it was my first time working with radiology and be able to understand the imaging, the way that these physicians were able to guide us to read and like, actually understand the importance it plays in people's health overall, and how much importance it have in making diagnosis to give them the better treatment and the right treatment in a timely manner that it deserve. That was a great thing to learn from this experience.
No, that's great. So you mentioned as well that this is a remote rotation. How did you find the convenience of doing this experience virtually?
So it was great because I struggled a lot due to COVID, having to find rotations. The schools were struggling to find rotation and stuff. To have a platform like that where the students didn't had to sit and just keep waiting, because it as you guys already know, like med school, it's a tedious process. You have to keep moving on. So to be given a platform where you can add on to your education, but also have the convenience of working it from home, where there was no restriction in like students cannot be allowed to the hospital. It was great because it added on to my school and not having to like sit back for a few months and just waiting for more doors to open. So I thank you guys for having this, amazing platform for students to like, take advantage of.
Awesome. Good. I'm glad that you liked it and it was able to fit with your schedule. So you were able to keep moving on with your rotations. So if you could rate this externship rotation on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best and 1 being the worst, how would you rate this?
I would say 10 out of 10. And it's not just because you're asking, it's also because It was overall a really good experience because, like I said, like radiology is not something that is touched on a lot. But, as I was doing this rotation, I had spoke to Miss Wanda before, like, I was also studying for my step examination. So, like, being able to see it on screen, having someone explain how to read it, it was a valuable experience in how I was answering the questions on my exam. So, I would, for that reason alone, I would give it 10 out of 10 because it was adding on to filling my rotation schedule, but it was also teaching me at the same time, which was adding on to my studying experience. So it was giving me more than just one benefit.
Oh, that's awesome. So what was the value of this externship worth the price that you paid?
Yes, definitely. I would say so.
So if you have any of your fellow medical students or some of your friends who've graduated medical school and they're looking for an externship or rotation, they're considering doing the rotation at Chicago Telerad, what would you say to your colleagues?
I would definitely recommend it. My only advice would be it would, because it's a short experience, I would definitely say to come prepare for it. I know that I wish I had done that to like have a baseline in radiology, just a little bit to know like, what a PA versus a, like, the views, the little bit that we can do on our part because it goes by really fast. And by the time you start to get like hang of it, you realize that the time is over. So coming in with like some terminology and like just knowing what how to just read like a plain film, it would really add on to the experience because then you're better equipped to ask the questions that you need to ask the physicians, and you're better equipped to like volunteer your own opinion, which I struggled with because I was struggling to just learn how to, read it. But it's a great group of physicians and resident and like, you guys working together. So I would definitely recommend it because you learn even without having that background knowledge. But to gain even more advantage from it, I do recommend just having that little bit, boost.
I think that's actually really good advice. Just
Yeah.
to, and just, like touching up on like the basic anatomy and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But that's definitely really good advice. And I just want to let everybody know that Zainab here gave a really great presentation on the overview of hepatobiliary diseases, and you guys can all check that out on our YouTube site and website as well. So just want to thank you, Zainab, so much
Thank
for
you.
taking the time to be here with us today, as well as your presentation. We've loved having you be a part of this experience with us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Thank you, especially to Ms. Rhonda. Thank you for everything, for your guidance, your advice, and everything. I would love to stay in touch moving on in future
Absolutely.
and,
Yeah,
working.
absolutely. And you've got us all through the continuing education chat too. So
Yeah,
just be in
thank
touch
you.
there, and you can be in touch with me personally too.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
day.